You know what? I don't think you were here, man. I think your nephew's.
Pull your seat just a little.
Oh, what I did? You did it that week?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. Okay. Yeah, it was my nephew's birthday.
Yeah.
Hey, let me just
Hang on.
darn certain. Okay, we're back. Where I wanted to pick up this time.
Hold on, wait, you guys start?
Oh, just right now. Pull up a chair. No, I'm
I
sorry.
forgot something in your car. I forgot my jacket.
Okay. My keys are. I think the keys are right there.
All right.
Make sure you manually lock it because there are no other keys. Make sure you manually lock it because there are no locks on it. It's the key with the rubber band on it. Yeah, there.
Manually lock it.
Like there's a button inside, like says lock. Just
All right.
no problem.
No problem. No problem. Okay, so we're picking
Now that
up.
he's done bothering you.
All the pests are out of here. Okay, so it's been a couple of weeks since we had the last interview here, but I did make a notation here that I, in fact, because I was going off of memory off of so many things, I actually did miss a couple of things that I did not tell. So it's chronologically, this is going to go back a bit. One of the things I wanted to tell, you were talking about the syndicate and whatnot. Well, let me give you maybe the most textbook example of why I can believe that and prove it out. Right after the district attorney had dismissed the criminal charges against me, I realized I had to get to do what I could do to try to get a remedy for this massive evil that had come against me. I mean, they'd taken my house and everything in it, right? So the first thing I just thought of was, well, okay, I don't know anything about courts and procedure and filing suits or anything, and I just did basically what everybody else would do today, and that is get a hold of an attorney and say, okay, this is what happened to me, and I need somebody to represent me. So I did so, and I remember spending one morning doing this, and my best memory is I called at least a dozen attorneys, and every single one, when they heard the story, said, oh, no, we will not get within 100 miles of that. They said, in fact, I'll never forget, one guy specifically said, I don't care how lawless a judicial ruling is, I would never, ever challenge it. I would never, as a barred attorney, challenge a judicial ruling. So I meant to have that in earlier because that is the first thing I did try to do. I didn't just say, oh, okay, I'm just going to take on Goliath myself.
Right.
Another anecdote here that I forgot to say was, and this was, again, this just depends on how much you can see into this story already. But as you know, I was already spending a lot of time, over coffee, almost daily, meeting Jeff Krupp. Right after this, I was still in a state of shock, and believe it or not, he was actually a lot of comfort. Oddly, it's hard to explain, but he was. He's a very, very nice and decent person. But one day, I don't even know if I had heard that my house had been sold. My house was, as soon as they took me out of the house, it was immediately put on the market. And it apparently closed. My best memory was it was in early May of 2008, and that's when it actually closed, and it became the property of somebody else. And I think it was actually somebody at the church that was following it and just came up to me and said, well, I just have to tell you that your house is now gone for good. And it's been sold and somebody else owns it. But the point of what I'm saying here is that it was, as I recall, 3 days after that, I met Jeff for coffee one more time, many times, of course, but met him for coffee 3 days after the house had been sold, and he turns to me and said, I got a call from the Honda dealership up in Beaverton with instructions for me to call you to tell you specifically that your wife just bought a brand new Honda Odyssey with cash. He didn't seem to understand what the message meant. He didn't get it. Of course, I got it instantly. she was sending me a message that I own your wife, and everything that we took, or at least the equity of that house, is mine. And I want to let you know that one of the things that what you've worked all your life to acquire, I just bought myself a brand new car. So,
Now, this house had been sold by Megan?
I have no idea. Probably
You
not
don't know
her.
who sold it?
Probably just some nameless entity.
But the money went to Megan?
Well, presumably. I mean, I honestly
It
can't.
wasn't state-owned, though, right?
No.
It wasn't like the state came
No,
and said,
no,
"We're
no.
occupied."
That judge, that Holcomb, that despicable Holcomb judge, gave her everything. He just said, "Well, I'm
Just by decree?
by decree.
It's all yours.
I'm the judge, and nobody questions me. I'm God, and I'm giving it."
Is that even a regular type thing that happens in divorce cases?
Oh,
no.
no. Oh, no,
You
no.
never would say, like, I
Oh
give
no!
you-
I'll forward you my lawsuit. And in this lawsuit, it is. I mean, I meticulously go through all of the elements of what the crimes, multiple crimes, she had committed. And there's actually one, and this is in the chapter. It's chapter 107 of Oregon Revised Statutes. That deals with divorce issues. I don't even recognize that garbage anyway.
Right.
But even so, when I looked at it. I think it was chapter 107, section 105, clause whatever, that said that any judge facing any marital dissolution issue where there is property involved shall, and I think it was even italicized, in every single circumstance divide equally. And so that's just, that was just one of many things. She said, I don't care. Nobody's going to stop me. I am absolutely unstoppable power. The law is a joke to me, and I will do what I will do. So anyway, it's a good question, but
Yeah.
no, if you want, I'll send you the lawsuit because it
It's so odd. Like, I don't know how, like, yeah, I mean, of course, going along with all the other things in this story,
Well, it shows
fits
that-
in with it, but it's just like, how
Well, it
could
shows
you-
that it was a conspiracy.
Yeah.
That it's not like, oh, this is just something unfortunate that happened.
No, yeah.
There's too many people involved, all doing their respective parts. It's like, wait a minute, this was an assault. This is a coordinated conspiratorial assault. So yeah, I mean, especially, I mean, just think about that. I mean, I still, it looms really huge in my mind when Jeff sits there and says, and he, again, and I think it's because of his condition, he didn't connect the dots. He was just sitting there scratching his head. Well, why did I get this phone call? And he didn't get it.
So they must have known you and Jeff had been talking then, too.
Apparently so. Somehow, and how they would know that, I don't know. But they probably just figured, okay, obviously at some point they would have said, hey, compared notes at the very minimum.
Right.
What really happened here? Wait a minute. Now there's too much evil going on here,
Right.
and maybe the original story wasn't true. Anyway, those are the few elements I had to go back and bring to your attention. I just thought that were important. I just forgot to mention them. Okay, so now where I'm at now here is, I believe, let's see here. Putting up to 19. Oh, okay. Here's one I don't think oh yeah, I'm sorry. This is another very, very key point. This is actually one of the largest things that ever happened to me in this entire thing. Now, at this point, let's just say I think I've already mentioned that I had somebody that I had known who shunted me down this phony baloney aisle of, straw man, gold fringe flag nonsense, all that
Yeah.
garbage. And when I was on the second referral of it, the first guy was a complete fruitcake and a con man, flat out. And the second guy I went to, well, made the first guy look like a paragon of sanity and decency. But on one of I think I only went to that guy's house. He lived up in Portland somewhere. I was in his house, and he has this pretension that he's some kind of a legal expert. And again, I didn't know quite yet that he was a complete fraud, and basically I thought that guy was literally psycho. But right before I got that, well, there was somebody else there in the house who was supposedly one of his associates who, who doing whatever they do. And he heard me tell this guy named Roger Whiting. Hey, I recognize that guy.
Whoa.
There's brother
Hey,
Dave.
what's going on?
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
How's it going?
All right. How you doing, brother? All right, let's see you. How you doing?
Good to see you, brother. How you doing,
All
brother?
right, I'm good. I'm good. Hey,
Good to
what's
see you,
up?
brother.
How you doing, man?
How you been?
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah. Yeah, we were just down the street. I had a meeting